Absolutely.
How you doing, ladies?
Okay, how are you?
Pretty good. Obama's going on vacation at Martha's Vineyard this weekend. Don't you want to be on vacation too?
Oh yes, I surely would if I had the money.
So while you're fighting to uphold the Constitution, Obama's soaking up the sun down in Martha's Vineyard, huh?
You could join Ted Kennedy, another socialist.
Oh yeah, you notice Ted Kennedy gets the best of health care.
Well,
You know, everybody's sad about his condition, but he's getting the best. He's not going to any socialized clinic anywhere. You notice that?
No, he's not.
Right.
He's got the best.
He's got the best. I think those doctors are paid a lot of money. I don't think you get that kind of treatment if they were paid like what they pay Cuban doctors or Canadian doctors or German doctors.
I say give it up.
Yeah.
Give up the treatment. Why should he get it? He's terminal.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess it doesn't apply to the congressmen who are for the bill.
No.
Right. It only applies to the
Peons.
to the peons, American citizens. Really good. Okay. Thanks for your comments. Never underestimate the will of the American people, right? The British found that out in 1776. The Japanese found that out in 1941. The Germans found that out. And I think socialists in this country are going to find that out, aren't they?
I certainly hope so.
That's why you're out here, right?
That's right. I love my country and I don't want it to go to pot.
Right. So it's not that you're being paid by any special interest group. It's just pure love of your country.
This is so contrary to my nature, but something has to be done.
Protesting is contrary?
Yes.
Wow, it must have taken a lot to bring you out here then.
It did.
Wow.
I want to see my country treated right and able to treat everybody else right.
Right, so you don't feel that the socialist way is the way to go in this country, huh?
I do not think so. Because I think that a lot of people fall through the cracks with the socialist situation. Less are helped, not more.
Right, and our taxes all get raised, and it's
the cost is ridiculous.
It's never enough money to run a system like that, is there?
Nope.
Okay, let me take another look at your sign here. It's a great sign. Thank you so much.
Well, we might have borrowed it.
That's okay. We're standing for it. You can't afford free health care, right? Oh yeah, speaking of that, did you hear that the Obama administration recently is raising their 10-year budget deficit projection from 7 trillion to 9 trillion?
Yep, just one.
And that's their projection,
Yeah.
so the real amount is probably quite a bit higher.
Go higher.
Right.
Much higher it's going to go.
And where's it coming from?
Where's it going to come from? From the taxpayer, ma'am.
I don't think there's enough money.
Right.
We're going to wind up paying for it.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but it's got to come from somewhere, right?
It's got to come. The rich
China
can't
can't
do
keep
it.
China can't keep buying our bonds.
No.
They're beginning to scoff at it.
China's going to stop buying because there's no money more. No more money here.
And they don't trust our ability to pay it back. And who can blame them, right?
No, can't blame them for
Can't
that.
blame them.
Too much money going out and nothing coming in.
Yeah. That means open up your wallet, American taxpayer.
Way open.
Way open.
Way open.
Empty it.
That's it.
Just put it on the table, the whole thing.
Sign a blank check.
There you go. How you guys doing?
All right, how are you?
All right.
Good.
Did you hear Chuck Schumer's recent proposal to use reconciliation to get this bill through the Senate? Did you hear anything about
That's
that?
terrible.
Yeah.
They're out of their minds.
Yeah, so what do you think the result of that's going to be if they try that?
It's going to be a backlash against them. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the polls say that the majority of the people are against this plan, and to ram it down the American people's throat at this point, horrible.
So it's sort of like taking a horse pill that you can't swallow. They try and shove it down your throat, so they break the pill in two.
Break it into
Right, they
pieces.
break it and, shove each piece down your throat, right?
They don't realize it's a big pill.
They think the American people are stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that; they don't seem to care. They have their special interests that they want to satisfy, and you guys, in their mind, are just the angry conservatives in their
Now,
mind.
I was under the impression that we're $7 trillion in debt at this point, which means we're actually bankrupt.
Oh,
My
yeah.
friend here informed me we were $9 trillion.
Oh, well,
At the end of
I'm
the
glad
day.
you mentioned that, because the Obama administration recently released this message that they're raising the 10-year budget deficit projection from 7 trillion to 9
There you
trillion.
go, he was
They
right.
announced that at 5 o'clock yesterday, right? At the end of the day. So
Yeah,
everybody would
but
pay
right. So it's not on the main
And
headline
on
news.
this healthcare fiasco, on top of that, would there be another couple of $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's
Wrong
just
time.
unbelievable. Yeah, where's that trillions going to come from?
Wrong plan, wrong time.
Here you go. Thanks for your comments. I appreciate it.
All right.
Hey, I'm here with Steve Flanagan again, who is the Executive Director of the Conservative Society for Action. Steve, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you based on what's happening in the news now. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay. The Obama administration recently released a message saying that they're raising their 10-year budget deficit projection from $7 trillion to $9 trillion. What do you think about that?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we knew that all along. I mean, if you look at the history of any government program, of any government spending, it's always up. If you look at the projections, even from the Congressional Budget Office over the last 20 years, they're always under. They're under by 20%, 30%, 40%. Now, it doesn't surprise me at all. As a matter of fact, those might even be conservative estimates by the time we're done.
Right, so if they're willing to say $9 trillion, and they're trying to put themselves in the best light, so the actual amount is probably much higher than that. Wouldn't you say?
Well, yes. I mean, and let's face it. They really don't know. They really don't know. If you start strapping the country with these huge expenditures and costs on business, you may not have the economy there that's going to sustain these types of operations. They're just not sustainable.
Right. Also, Obama is starting to use religion to push the health care bill through, and based on his own words, he considers the health care reform to be a, quote, core ethical and moral obligation. That is, that we look out for one another, that I am my brother's keeper and I am my sister's keeper, close quote. So based on what he's saying, do you think that he's saying that opposition groups like your own are being unethical and immoral when you oppose Obamacare?
Well, I'm sure that's what he's going to want to project upon us. I mean, they projected all kinds of negatives on us because they can't deal with the issues. Let's face it, we have a huge safety net in this country. We have welfare programs and we have Medicaid programs and we have other programs, the food stamp programs, you name it. The people who are truly needy, the people that really need a helping hand, they get it here in America. Right? Nobody's starving. Nobody's being denied health care. Yeah, maybe there's an insurance issue that has to be done. But we're talking about 10, 15 million people in a country of over 300 million. So, yeah, I'm your brother's keeper. Sure we are. But this country has always been passionate. It's always taken care of the underprivileged. And we've always maintained a safety net for those who truly need it. So for him to use that, it's just another political ploy on their part to try and project negatives on groups like ours and others.
Right. Okay. And I'm sure you're aware that our own beloved Senator Chuck Schumer, I say that tongue-in-cheek, he raised the possibility that the Democrats in the Senate might use a process known as reconciliation to push the health care bill through the Senate, which is breaking the bill up into two parts, which only require a simple majority instead of a supermajority. What do you think about that tactic?
Well, it just proves what we've been saying all along. They will do anything to pass this. They will do anything to bypass the people, anything to bypass their reaching across the aisle on the other side of the aisle. Basically, that's a decision that they have made, that they are going to ignore the minority party, the Republicans. They don't need the Republicans anymore. They're going to use whatever method they need, whether it's a democratic method or a procedural method to get their agenda across. This is, I fully expected this. It's the same way the House of Representatives used fast track in many cases. Fast track was designed for national emergencies. They decided to issue those rules to pass legislation that they feel is, quote, important. No, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's a tactic, but it's also indicative that they are in trouble. That these major spending programs, whether it's health care or it's cap and trade, which is going to be coming up again very shortly, it's just an indication that they know they're in trouble, and the only way that they can get around the voice of the people is to use procedural matters, innuendo, and trying to belittle our movement rather than trying to respect it.
Very good. Appreciate your comments, Steve, as always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.